Veliki pozdrav svim ljubiteljima sporta. Današnju emisiju posvetit ćemo košarci. Nakon veoma uspešnog projekta 3x3, na red je došao i novi projekat 2x2. Naš gost je nekadašnji NBA igrač i legenda evropske košarke gospodin Maćej Lampe, koji je jedan od glavnih ambasadora nove discipline u svetu basketa. Mr. Lampe, first of all, good day. It's an honor for us to be able to talk with you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We will start with the most current topic, the new 2x2 basketball format. You recently visited Serbia to promote it. Could you explain what this project is about and what its main goals are?
Yeah, this project is about installing good basketball fundamentals from an early age. So I have the second biggest tournament in all of Scandinavia, the Lampe Challenge, which we have the 20th year anniversary this year. So that's awesome. You know, it's been a tournament that has been growing from year to year to now the second biggest in all of Scandinavia. And this year I started a new project in the concept of 2-on-2 basketball, where I mix 2 or 3 age groups, only allowing the oldest player from each age group simultaneously on the court. This makes it so you're always competing against somebody who's younger and older than yourself, which I think is very beneficial for player development. And then I wanted the game to be played fast, so I added the 5 dribbles per possession rule. So it also works very good on reaction, because if the ball doesn't touch the rim, then you don't have to go outside of the three-point line in order to attack again. And also you can double team on baseline and a side dive out of bounds. All of these things, I think, install very good basketball fundamentals for the participants. The game is very fast and dynamic. It works under conditions, and they have to think. You know, they have to react fast and they have to play fast. Basketball is played faster and faster. So I developed this game. I started the first one in Sweden, in the biggest club in all of Sweden. And then we've done 6 tournaments in 6 months in 3 countries. So next year we have about 12 countries. You know, this is something that I'm growing. I think it's important to practice the right way, and this is practice game and a tournament in one day. So that's the best for players, and yeah, I'm proud of it. I'm doing it all over Europe. We're gonna do it in Russia, and we're gonna do it in Kazakhstan. So I want this to grow. I want this to be my introduction as a basketball coach, and yeah, that's what I'm up to now.
What are the key differences between 3x3 or 2x2 basketball, and how do people react to this format? Do you see strong interest from players and fans?
Yeah, people that know basketball like the idea. People that didn't know basketball didn't understand it. When you add a 5 dribble limit, it makes player plays fast and makes them take fast decisions, which is very important in basketball. 3-on-3 for me is a different sport, right? 3-on-3 is a different Olympic sport. This is a preparation tool to install good fundamentals from an early age into basketball players. So after a defensive rebound, I recommend 0 or 1 dribbles to get the ball as near as the 3-point line. This is like an outlet pass in a fast break situation.
Yeah.
So everything mimics and prepares you to basketball 5-on-5. For me, 3-on-3 is a whole different sport.
Do you have time to follow EuroLeague? How do you view current format, and do you think Europe needs a project such as NBA Europe?
Competition is always good. So the more competition it is, it pushes players, coaches, teams to perform extra. So I always welcome competition, and I think the EuroLeague should not be scared. The European basketball is very particular, and the fan base as well is different. So I'm not really scared of NBA Europe. I think the more competition, the better results for everybody. So yeah, I do follow as much as I can. I travel a lot, but I follow both the NBA and EuroLeague, of course.
How different is today's EuroLeague compared to the period when you were playing? In your opinion, was basketball more demanding back then or now?
Well, since they increased the schedule, it's kind of even more demanding now. If you're playing on the best teams in Europe, you're competing about 10 months out the year. And then, you're playing 2 games a week. Now, with these travels, in the European leagues, we don't travel like they do in NBA with chartered flights where you just go through security, you're on the plane, you eat on the plane. Very few teams do this. Most teams travel with regular airlines, so it's a toll on their bodies, but it's something that you just got to adapt and make the best of it. I think, as the years move forward, the EuroLeague will get more and more professional, and, they will take care of their athletes so they can perform at the highest levels.
Looking back at your career, you played in the NBA and for major European clubs such as Real Madrid, Barcelona, Baskonia. Where did you like the most playing, and what are you most proud of?
It is not really like one moment. I had a very long career. I played at the highest level in every country for 22 years. I broke records being the youngest guy drafted, the youngest guy on different franchises in the NBA. Then I took, my talents to Russia where, there was a big competition there and we did very good. We built that team and, we competed very well. We won the Russian Cup. Then after Kimki, I took a pit stop in Tel Aviv and then went back to Russia. We won the Euro Cup. I was the MVP of the Russian League. So, there's not like one thing. I've really enjoyed my career. I was able to travel to see the whole world, learn different cultures. It was great. I did it for 22 years, but it was my time to stop. I stopped when I wanted to. It was enough. Also, I'm proud of the years in China. When I first got to China, there was another European big guy, Radulica. Nobody else. After my first year there was 6 guys. So, it's been a long journey. It's been something that's kind of behind me now. I'm looking forward to the future. Like I told you, I want to coach basketball on the highest level, and this tournament that I've developed, I think, is something that's going to be beneficial for generations.
How much has basketball changed over the last 10, 15 years? And what do you see as the biggest difference compared to your playing days?
Well, the biggest difference is, that we don't really have traditional centers anymore. The game has become very fast with a lot of three-pointers. So, the game evolves. That's the way it is. It's going to evolve from decade to decade, and, it's gonna be played different. I'm not saying that it's good or bad. Do I enjoy sometimes watching old NBA games? Yes, because I think it was a little bit more rough. There's a lot of fouls being called right now, a lot of free throws in the NBA. It's just different, and the game is going to continue to evolve from decade to decade, but you look at a guy like Wemby, for example, I love watching him play. He's amazing. So yeah, it's going to change from 10 years to 10 years. It's going to change with the superstars that we have in the league or in the EuroLeague, and you just got to adapt as a player.
Which player was the toughest opponent you faced during your career, and why? Maybe Miroslav Raduljica was one of them.
Miroslav was good. He has very good basketball fundamentals. He was tough, not like a super talented player, but knew how to play the game very well, very smart. I don't know. I always say LeBron James. When I saw LeBron James when I was drafted and then I was playing against Summer League against him, even in the NBA in one game, that was a complete caliber player that could do everything, And for me, it's him, it's Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, those guys from my generation that I give the crown to. For a European player, when I was young, I would say Linas Kleiza was a tough opponent. He was from Lithuania. And me growing up in Sweden, I played him in a couple of tournaments when I was younger. And then from the Serbian side, I needed always to get along with the point guard. So I'd have to mention Sasha Djordjevic. I grew up with him in Real Madrid. He helped me a lot as a young guy. And then later down the line, I don't really know, because then I was kind of ready. I was a player, so I didn't see anybody as like, wow, what a player. I just wanted to, compete against them.
Which lesson from basketball do you apply most often in your every life day? Do you have some message for young kids who maybe watch this and want to try to be professional basketball?
Well, I found my my purpose. I really wanted to be an athlete. I found basketball and I was able to, play professional basketball for over 2 decades. I believed in this, so you just got to do things you believe in. If you really want to be a professional basketball player, you got to work. You got to put in the time, week by week, month by month, year by year. And if you show up to all practices during the whole year and you give your all, mentally, physically during the whole year, there is no chance that you're not going to achieve any level on some pedigree. So, you know, you got to be disciplined. This is the thing. This is the thing nowadays. This was the thing for me. You got to stay disciplined to your craft. You got to develop it every day. And you have to attack every day like it's your last, because you don't know how long you're going to play. I was very fortunate to play for 22 years, but, you know, your career can end in any practice. You know, it's a physical game. So you just got to enjoy it while it lasts and, you know, show up. And during a long period of time, you know, be there present, you know, with your whole ambition, and then things are gonna turn. You know, that's the recipe.
If you could replay one game from your career, which one would it be? And would you change anything?
You know, we didn't deserve to win that game. We lost in the Euro Cup finals against Ritas. We had a bigger budget than them by a lot. You know, I was on Khimki Moscow. And that's a game that was a very hard loss for me personally. But I wouldn't change anything. You know, all of the losses in my career, you know, taught me something. And, you know, I don't see any other game that was like something that, you know, was like a real downer. That one, yes, because I think our team was better than we showed, you know. But, you know, you got to give it to Lietuvos Rytas. They deserved it. But that's a game that's still kind of hard on my heart, for sure.
And the last question, you played against Serbian teams. For example, in Barcelona, you faced Partizan. Do you feel more excited to play in the crowd like it's here in Belgrade?
Oh, yeah, it's a very special atmosphere. I mean, I played against Partizan even with Real Madrid when Nenad Kristic was still playing there. You know, when they used to throw things on the benches. And then with Barcelona as well, you know, it's a hostile environment, and as a player, you know, it's something that you have to grow accustomed to. The younger you're in this atmosphere, the better, because it's loud, you know, and you have to really show your character as a team and communicate with your eyes and be in sync. So it's just something fun and, you know, great to experience as a player. And I hope to be able to experience this type of atmosphere as a coach in the future as well.
Maciej, thanks a lot for this interview. Good luck in the new project, and good luck in general things that you managed to do.
Thank you very much. All the best. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bio je to poljski legendarni košarkaš Maćej Lampe. Ostanite uz Tanjug.